I got the juice, don't need no proof. 100 like the rum, I drink that got me over you. And all your nonsense, we all subject to. I find my lane and mind my business like I'm supposed to do. Let's have a toast for all the obstacles that got us here. I put my glass up in the air to stimulate the cheers. Not because we made it, but because we making it. I savor the moment, the bouquet forever evident. Yeah. In my realm, I watch the times go by. I got the world in my hands, but I can't tame the sky. Dare I try, I might lose my mind. But it'll be all good after I'm done sipping this wine.
What's up, man?
I'm sorry, did you just turn on like your wrestling persona right now?
Yeah. That's exactly what I did. Also, I'm just praying that everything works out with this record, with all the mics and stuff being far away.
Yeah, we've
did normal.
But it seems like it's
It does seem like it's working. So yeah. I like the little lines.
Yeah.
That's a good sign.
It's showing red. It's hitting red.
I feel like that's a good thing.
So that's good.
I feel that's good. We did a lot of setup for this.
We did.
So this has to go.
If it does not go well, just know that it was. It is in great intention.
Thank you.
Great intention.
And that's really all that matters. But welcome everybody to Clueless Vino, the show where a guy like me drinks wine and kicking with a couple cool guests, man. Today I got my guy, Jay Howe. Shout out to Howard. How you doing, brother?
I'm fantastic.
Yeah, man.
I'm happy to be a part of your project for once.
Yeah. For once?
For once.
You did the cover story.
I was about to say,
what are you talking about?
I've done photography for
yes, exactly.
In a new way.
Right. It's the first time with the new project, man. But tell people about yourself.
I'm just a lovely person.
Wow.
I'm born in Danville, Virginia. I came up to Richmond to go to VCU. I've been here ever since. Met my wife here. Used to be a sports writer. Now I work with livestock for the state, and I love to cook. So
yes.
I'm happy to bring that little element of that to the podcast.
Yeah, man. You know, cooking, I'm not going to say it's the basis of our friendship, but it definitely helps.
It helps. It definitely helps.
It definitely helps.
It's not how we started, but
no.
It definitely is one of those like maintaining factors.
Right.
Along the
It's
way.
like I want to end the friendship, but it's like all that delicious food.
always. That's one of the things. Like I always like to check your Instagram feed and whatnot, see what you're cooking this week. Sort of live vicariously through you a little bit, while can't do with so much with the little one right now.
Yeah.
We just had a kid. He's 3 months old.
Yeah, man. Welcome to fatherhood, brother.
Yeah.
So.
It's difficult. I know when you see all the posts that Stik makes on Instagram with cooking, everything that you do, like I used to do that, and it's tough with a 3-month-old. I'm just starting to get back into it a little bit, but it's tough, trying to go around his sleep schedule a little bit.
Yeah, man, which is erratic.
Yes,
but I mean, he's I was talking to Faith, and he's doing better with that. Getting a little better, right?
Well, yeah, his nighttime sleeping is great. Once you put him down to go to bed at night, he's it doesn't seem to matter what time, 8, 9, 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
He'll sleep through the night and sleep till 6 or 7 o'clock, which is fantastic.
Oh, it's the best.
But during the day, he does not nap. He does not nap. You can tell he is tired. You see the eyes are heavy, and he's just like nope, not gonna do it. Not gonna do it.
Babies are the originators of FOMO because they're like something's up.
Something's gonna happen.
Why are you trying to sleep
exactly.
so quickly?
Exactly. They're like, I gotta see what's gonna happen. Like nothing's happening.
I promise you, bro. We're about to go to sleep right after you.
I promise. Absolutely not. Maybe you're not missing anything. Just take a nap. Yeah, it's all.
Exactly. So what would you say is what's been the most surprising thing about fatherhood thus far?
God, somebody actually asked me that, and it's weird because I feel like people tell you, you hear such great stories from some people, and then you hear such horror stories from some people, and I feel like because I got so much of that, I feel like nothing has popped up, and I was like, man, didn't think that would happen. I will say that I guess nothing prepares you, despite the fact that you know it's going to happen, for being peed on. Yeah, little boys. I guess girls do it too, but little boys, they're just.
Yeah.
And so we're giving them a bath yesterday, and just out of nowhere, just shoot straight across. Right, just straight across the room.
Yeah, I mean, listen, man.
All right.
Steph Curry with the piss boy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh God, yeah, nothing. Just.
So I got lucky. I never got Vino.
Wow.
Yeah, I never got Vino. I was a very strategic ninja when it comes to that stuff.
All I'm saying is when the day comes when you and Anna have a second child.
And so, second topic already. Moving on. Wow, this thing is just moving along quickly. I see. Yeah, I mean, I figured I wouldn't get lucky. I don't know, man. I can't even explain how I did it. It's just once I learned how to do the diaper thing, I was really quick with it. I'm like, all right. Especially if I know his diaper was wet, I'm like, all right, let's take it off, hold it back on just in case he decides, gotcha. And then hit it on like a.
The time that we figured that we're in the most dangers. Every now and then he'll just have most of his diapers, they're either wet or they're mixed.
Yeah.
But every now and then he has one that's just dirty, and every time I see that line on the diaper is still yellow, best invention of all time, by the way, dude. The yellow line that turns blue, fantastic. I don't know how people got along without that back in the 70s, 80s, maybe even 90s. I don't know. But we'll see that line is still yellow, and it's just like, all right, it's a very dangerous situation. We do the Rocco's Modern Life voice, like, garbage day is a very dangerous day.
Yeah.
It's like dirty diaper day is a very dangerous day.
Because it's the next time could be the time. You know what I'm saying? You get but like I said, I was lucky to not have to deal with that. So sorry, man.
Yeah. It's okay. I mean, at this point, I'm just like, all right, well, it happened. I'll change my shirt, I guess, and then move on.
Yeah. So with having a new baby, and we've been talking about this for years. I feel like we've always talked about trying to move out, eventually get like a new home.
Yeah.
And with just the market and stuff, it wasn't the time and whatever. But it's funny how like a small being can make you want to get like a bigger house. Because like once you have a kid, like you're like, oh, everything's so small and like spaces are tight and like what I'm saying, like you've had to start envisioning different things.
Things that you think are massive areas become such small areas.
Yeah.
And really fast, because there are so many. I mean, you don't understand how many things a baby. Even when you try and be minimalist, I know people are like, yeah, no, the baby's not going to have any of these things. I'm like, oh, okay. And like, I mean, even the most minimal of things, a swing, a play mat, all these things, and you want to keep them out. You want to keep them close at hand.
Just accessible.
When the baby starts crying, you don't got time to go run upstairs and go get it. So all these things are around. You're like, man, it takes up a lot of space. When you buy all the clothes and all the supplies, all the diapers and whatnot. Especially, luckily, lots of great family and friends. We have so many diapers to start with. And that closet that we have upstairs, it's like it's supposed to be his closet. It is 90% diapers, and there's not a lot of space for other stuff. It's like, man, we really need more space. We really need a bigger house. And it's funny because we just sold this house. This house, we will not be in this house in a couple months. And the people who bought it are kind of a younger couple, kind of like Faith and I were when we bought this house. And I wasn't here when they were touring it, but Faith was. And the girl was apparently like, oh, this is such a great space. And I'm like, yeah, it was. When it was just two. It's like,
it's like you
need a bigger space.
It's like when you see them and you're like, oh, this is us a few years ago. Like we said the exact same thing, but then like you add this extra person in there.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, it's not as big as it needs to be.
It's kind of, the kid isn't even 2 feet tall, and he has more stuff than I do. Yeah, it's an issue. It's an issue.
Babies just come in and think they own the place. I don't like that shit. I don't like that.
They want their sleep schedule to be your schedule.
That's
they want
what
your
I'm
feeding
saying.
schedule to be your. They want their feeding schedule to be your feeding schedule. I'm like, come on, man. I'm trying to wake up. I'm trying to eat. Why don't you do the same thing? Come sit at the table. Learn how right now. That's all I want.
Babies are assholes. So I mean, we said it, man. Cooking is the thing that we bonded over the years. Like when we first met. First of all, we met at this place that we will not talk about.
Sure.
Or we won't remember how we actually started talking. I think we both ate like the lunchroom, the break room at the time.
Yeah. No, we were in the break room, and I remember that was back when I was like, oh, I have to get lunch in the break room.
Yeah.
And I remember it was you, Carnell. No, it wasn't Carnell. It wasn't Carnell. Carnell wasn't there yet. It was Shamika, and there's another girl whose name I cannot think of. And yes. And I remember I was just eating my lunch, and y'all were at the other table. Y'all were minding y'all's business. I was just eating my sandwich, and then out of nowhere, I was like, "Hey, like your Redskins training camp is coming to town." And I remember you looked at Shamika, and you were like, "You can finally get you a man." I was like, "Okay, she's a jersey chaser. That's good to know. That's good information to know." And yes, there was no reason to believe that a friendship would have come out of this conversation. But then I discovered you played basketball, and I was playing summer league at the time, so I was trying to I think I was trying to recruit you at first, which I did not successfully do.
Of course.
And then I think we bonded over the fact that we had opponents in common who were much better than, at the very least, much better than my team. I think.
Shout out to the Bombers, man.
Yeah.
Bombers, not the Bombers.
The Bombers. That was the first question you asked me. You're like, wait, is it the Bombers or the Bombers? I was like, I think it's the Bombers. And you were like,
never get it confused of which one it is.
Oh gosh, they were all so good.
Yeah, they were.
I remember we won one game one time because the other team, we didn't have enough players. We had to forfeit, and so we still wanted to run, and they had a game right before us. So a few of their guys stuck around and ran with us, and we won. And I was like, oh, this is what this feels like.
Yeah.
Winning ball games.
Yeah.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
Shots going in.
Yeah,
Yeah, good times.
But yeah, man, so like I learned a lot of cooking stuff from you. Mainly because I eat most of your food. And so yeah, I mean, I got inspired cooking, through you, and now I do some stuff on Instagram. Yeah, so I thought, what better way to do Clueless Vino with you to have cooking involved, man.
First of all, I want to say that's good to hear, because that's how I feel. I love cooking. Like I'm no professional chef. I'm barely I'm not we were talking about how there's a Top Chef amateurs or whatever.
Yeah.
I could never qualify for anything like that. But what I found is that there is an excitement level to cooking that, and a little bit of a rush that you don't necessarily. There's just more to it. It's just another way of creating. You're a writer. When you get excited about what you write and you feel that, and it's the same way in the kitchen. You can create something and to watch, just like when someone gives you a good review and they really enjoyed what they read. That's how I feel about cooking. I like making food that someone's going to eat and they're going to really enjoy. And it's one of those things, having a good time with your friends, watching them enjoy the food, having a good conversation. There's nothing else like it to me. So I'm glad that I can share that with someone else, and then you kind of spread the love too, because you do the same thing.
Yeah, man. So tell people what we're actually. Well, I'm not doing shit.
The sous chef here who is not getting paid.
Yeah. Tell people what you're making today.
Okay, so obviously this is a wine podcast, so our challenge here was, let's do red and white, and let's pair it with food. So we've got a red wine that we're going to pair with a way too thick steak, and we've got a white wine that we're going to make some shrimp fettuccine Alfredo. I already made the Alfredo sauce, and so we just got to make the pasta for that. So that's going to be fun.
Yeah. So you had said that you had a love-hate relationship with wine tasting.
I do. It's so. I've never been a huge wine person. I found wines that I like, and I mean, you know me. I like Jameson and ginger. Jameson and ginger is my thing. So preferably to go, if I don't like the place.
Right.
But so I've done plenty of wine tastings though, and I like that I like the concept of a good wine tasting where they give you, they have this good order where you taste the things in an order that makes sense, and so one kind of cleanses out the other, and you go from maybe a lighter flavor to a deeper oakier flavor, maybe starting out with whites and going to reds, if you will. And I found good wines that I like that way. The problem is, I feel like there are a lot of places who I've had bad experiences where they're not so much worried about your experience. They're like, they got a lot of people, other people do the wine tasting.
I'm trying to get
so
you
it's
through
just,
this.
yeah, it's just like,
yeah.
And so, you know, the whole thing with wine tastings are already sort of like taking the Pepsi challenge because they're not giving you a lot of it, so you're only kind of basing it off of a little bit, yeah. But I hate when you show up to them and they kind of push you through and they don't help you explain what you might be smelling or what you might be tasting, most of all. And it's just like, okay, well, I'm here and I just had some alcohol that I don't even know if I want to purchase now because the experience wasn't great. I've had bad experiences at nice wineries too.
Yeah.
And so, it's just love-hate relationship because it's a great way. It's a great way to find a wine that you might want to take home. But
right, and so I've only done the one wine tasting at Cooper Salt, and that was 3 months ago now. Yeah, almost 3 months ago now. And I had a good experience. Obviously, it was at Cooper Salt, big brand name or whatever. But I had a good experience. I felt like she explained enough. But I understand what you're saying because like, if I'm new to something, I need information.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I come from a standpoint of I'm pouring more than just a sip, sweetie. I need, I need like a bunch.
Exactly.
To, you know what I'm saying? So these little sample sizes, I need. Oh, what am I supposed to be tasting or whatever? But what I did like about Cooper Salt is they had the sheet, and so like it told you, like years or maybe like what was there. Or whatever, and what's in it, what you're smelling, what you should be tasting. So that was cool. Oh, look who it is. Hey.
We just added an animal to the mix.
What's up, man?
Good. Go. Okay. Special guest star, Chloe McDonald.
She heard about the podcast. She want to be on.
We'll take that out in post. No, so, and to be honest, like one of the worst experiences I had, and this one necessarily, I don't want to put it on, I won't even name the winery, but it was a local-ish winery.
Okay.
Within the, 25-mile radius of Richmond, and it was actually, we went on Mother's Day weekend, so you know there's going to be a lot of people.
A lot of people, sure.
And again, this is where it gets taken out of their control. It's one that you had to pay for, so, not all of them you got to pay for, and I'll say this real fast. Paying for it versus not paying for it, that's not even where that line is in terms of the bad experience that I'm talking about. Like I've had some great ones that were free and some bad ones that I had to pay for. But anyway, so we go and you already know there's going to be a lot of people and the credit card machine was not working. The credit card machine was not down.
That's the worst.
So they were like, additionally, they had to write down all the information, and the line is piling up, so they're feeling rushed.
The stress out.
Exactly, and so, I'm like, working on Mother's Day, Mom's probably going to want a bottle of wine, Faith's probably going to want a bottle of wine. This is a good sales point. It's just, but the experience was bad, so you missed it.
See, that's the thing. You gotta push those. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially on a date like that. Like, you're still a salesperson at that point.
Yeah,
so like
exactly.
you gotta sell it.
Yeah, you gotta make the best of it.
You gotta sell it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I understand you under a big amount of stress, but you gotta turn that stress into something.
Yeah, you gotta turn those lemons into lemonade.
You gotta turn those S's into dollar signs.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
So I definitely understand what you're saying, man. But like and I feel like the tastings has spread across like all alcohol now. You see likes of beer.
Oh yeah.
Like tequila tastings, and I don't know which ones came first, but like you can tell when you think of tastings, you immediately think of wine.
Exactly,
first,
exactly. So, that's definitely where it started. And we've done cider tastings at places where there's so many cideries now. Like that's really blown up. Done plenty of those tastings. We went down to Charleston, and we went to the Firefly Distillery. And that's sweet tea. They're known for their sweet tea vodka, and we actually did vodka tasting and tasted not all, but several of their vodkas and a couple of their rums that they make too.
Nice.
And so, Yeah, it goes all the way across. Some of them get you more messed up than others.
Yes. Yes.
Depending on how much you've eaten beforehand, might not matter. I don't know.
Definitely eat beforehand.
I'll say this: when we did the Firefly Distillery, we went kind of early in the day, and so I think we had eaten breakfast, and then like a couple hours had gone by, and then we did the tasting, and man, we felt great. And so we definitely sat down for a little bit. We're like, we gotta
Let's just take a break.
chill before we go to our next destination.
Yeah.
And then it was funny. Additionally, it was funny because I think like 3 or 4 bachelorette parties showed up in the time period. Charleston is a great bachelorette party location.
I thought Charleston and Nashville be battling.
Oh yeah, Nashville
for like
fantastic. Yeah.
typical bachelorette spots.
Oh, definitely. But so we were just sitting there watching. We were just people watching. Like, all right, well, that's a large bachelorette party.
She's getting married.
There were a couple of those. We had like a loud group, and then we had a group that was like her sister and her best friend. And we're like, she doesn't have very many friends. Like we ran through. There was definitely
scenarios.
Oh, we definitely were trying to figure everybody out. You know, and you know, you do that more. The more you drink, the more you definitely try and like get to the root
for sure
of everyone. Yeah,
for sure. Because that's the best part. That's the best part of like any type of like adventure, like outside of in an area. It's just people watching and create scenarios for people.
No doubt.
You know how many people I've had in like horrible situations too, not knowing anything nothing about them.
Yeah.
Oh man, she just got in a bad relationship. Dude cheated on with his sister. Whoa.
You really take that to the next level.
Yeah, I know, right? They probably just had like a simple argument. Yeah, I mean,
simple.
Nothing great.
I told you to pick dinner. No, well, I told you to pick dinner. Like, that's a little bit different than cheating, but it's not as exciting.
That is a frustrating conversation. I've named 5 places and you haven't picked one.
You know,
it just sounds like you're not hungry.
I saw something one time, and every now and then Facebook has a moment of brilliance. And I saw where someone had taken they basically made like a popsicle stick wheel, and with a restaurant and then spun it, and I was like, fantastic idea.
So
why haven't I done this?
It was that, but it was the remember those toys where it had like different farm animals on it?
Yes.
It was that.
Oh,
fantastic.
That's so good.
Yes.
It's like so good.
A steak place with the cows.
So good. Things I feel like I should have done years ago, but now it's just
you know.
It's too late. I've lived with the female indecision of restaurants for this long. I guess I'm gonna do it forever now. So
at this point, like, it sounds like we're eating ramen tonight.
Yeah,
so,
that's it. Yeah.
And then now randomly, let's pick a place. There we go. There you go. So in the intro, I'm definitely playing a Year of the Ox song, and I'm glad that I was able to put you on to the Year of the Ox.
I didn't do that.
I even got the shirt on today.
I put,
shout out the lyrics in JL, man.
I put Stik on.
Year of
the Ox.
So
7 rings.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, you gotta listen to 7 rings. 7 rings.
I went to college with a girl who's like friends with them, and so I just saw her post it on Facebook one day, and I was like, let me listen to these guys. And I'm like,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
They are really good.
Really enjoyed that.
Yeah. Goes to the new album, Year of the Ox. But that is one of our many gags, is that one of us will take credit for something the other one has done.
Hey. You're welcome for Randolph, Macon. That's all I'm gonna say.
Listen, man. If it wasn't for you, I would have never been there. I mean, obviously, it wasn't Rosie recruiting.
You would have gone somewhere like trash, like Hamden, Sydney.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Right. Like that's what a horrible decision.
What a horrible decision.
A horrible decision.
Glad I was able to save you.
Yeah. I mean, but yeah, man. So what else have we done that's like that? What have I taken credit for?
I feel like we've done it so many times. Like
I feel like we forgot.
I feel like we should have written those down over the years just so we would have kept up. But pretty much. Oh no. We'll edit this out in post as well. Oh no. There was. Hannibal Buress. I'll put you on the Hannibal
That
Buress.
is true. You definitely put me on.
Because I used to back when we used to ride with each other to work every day. I would always, at the very least, on the way home, I would always put on the Pandora comedy station.
That's right.
And so at first you didn't like them.
Some were hits and some were misses.
Yes, yeah, there were a lot of misses, few hits, but I remember specifically I really like Hannibal, and I was like, man, you got to listen to him. And there were a couple of them that you listen to, and you're like, I don't know. And I'm trying to remember. I think it might have been. I think it was the New Orleans bit where he talks about getting a Jameson and ginger to go. That is what put you on finally, and you're like, hey, this guy's hilarious.
But I feel like that was later though, right? That was like later in his career though.
No.
That's not the one where he's talking about what you call it? No, that's not the one where he's talking about the parade, right?
No, there is, but I'm pretty sure that's one that was.
But we went to the concert before that, because we ended up going to a concert when he didn't have that. Or no, that's when he was just about to do that. That's when he was about to release that.
Maybe. I don't know. But that's one of our things. Ginger to go.
Speaking of that concert, there's the greatest story of all time about Alice. Shout out to Alice, man. We went to a Hannibal Buress, a set or whatever, and it was amazing. First of all,
yeah, it was a good show.
He killed it. He smashed.
Came out with a VCU jersey, which
is
very important.
Always a good thing to do when you come into Richmond. And he had said that he was going to have an after party at this location. So first of all, it's a Wednesday? It's a Thursday, right?
Yeah.
It's a Thursday.
We definitely had work the next day.
We had work the next day. We get out at like what, 10 or something, 9 or 10ish.
I think it was later than that. I think.
Oh my, you're right. It might have been like 11.
Because I think the show started.
You know how they do. It starts at 9.
Starts at 9.
The DJ doing like 30 minutes.
Exactly.
And
the first two acts come on after that.
This isn't the start of the show.
Yeah, no, not at all.
But yeah, so it's like 11 or something, and I look at him like, we should go. And he's like, I don't know, man. Like, we should go. We got work in the morning. We should go. All right.
3 times. Yeah, 3 times is really the charm. That's
all right.
Yeah, you ask me 3 times, like, okay, yeah.
So we go to the after party, man, and we get in. It's a good amount of people, whatever. And first of all, the bartenders at that spot were trash. I was standing there. I'm 6'10". You saw me knock it off. Anyway, but he opens the bar for like an hour.
Yeah, it was good.
And he just lets people buy whatever.
Yeah,
and what was the one dude? I forgot what he ordered, but he got the receipt. And he looked at it, he said, "Oh, someone buys something. They ain't never bought
I remember we just happened to be standing next to the guy too. It was a beer. It was some off the wall sounding beer. And he says it, and the guy's like, "Oh, that was me." And he was like, and I remember he was like, "He's right. I've never gotten it before."
But we run into this girl named Alice, and it starts off innocent enough. Like, hey, did you go to
She asked if we liked Odd Future. That was how this started. She asked if we liked Odd Future. Yeah.
And I was like, I knew who Odd Future was. I was like, yeah, I love Odd Future.
Wait, Sean, time out real fast.
Yeah.
One of these times where Jonathan hears something incorrectly and doesn't ever correct himself until the last second. I thought the name of the group was Eye of the Future.
Which,
either way,
would be a great name for it.
It's still a great group. It's not
the one she was talking about.
Yeah,
obviously.
not a different group. Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm a big fan of Odd Future, yada yada yada. And I thought the conversation and our interaction would be over.
No,
for the night.
It was not.
So I think she leaves, and then she re-enters into our world. Unfortunately.
Yes.
Like
upset,
like to the point of tears, because what did she had tried to talk to Hannibal. Yeah,
she said she embarrassed herself in front of Hannibal, and I was like,
what did you do?
Okay.
I was like, what did you do?
Like, I don't know how this concerns either of us. Where do we go from here?
I feel like you're just mad at me now. I was like, you just met him tonight. I'm like, what are you talking about?
So I feel like, I don't know how many groupies like comedians have, and I don't know how many groupies Hannibal Buress has, but
I feel it's
She was definitely the president of the Richmond chapter of the
for
Burris
sure.
group.
For sure.
Groups, yeah. I was like, wow, that's something. Like,
nice girl from what I remember. Just.
But she might. Here's the deal. She might have died that night.
We
I don't know.
We don't know. I don't know. We definitely did that in the conversation.
We did.
Out of that place immediately.
We also saw there's a girl that I went to college with that I ran into, and it was weird because she came up and started talking to us because there was a guy who was trying to pick her and her friend up, which is super aggressive.
I mean, listen.
But it's
2 for 1 special. It looks
I guess. But she was like, "Yeah, this guy's really talking to us a lot. Can you just talk for a little while?" I'm like, "Yeah,
absolutely.
Whatever.
Whatever you need from us.
I guess we'll chat." But the thing was that he made this direct eye contact. He was like,
"I'm gonna stop this." Yeah.
No, I'm like, okay. Like, I'm just trying to help a friend. I'm just trying to be a friend for a friend, and I'm not comfortable. And then Alice came along, and I'm like, I'm really not comfortable. And then
that's when we left.
Then we had to go. Yeah.
That's when we left. I felt okay the next day. By the way.
Oh, I felt great.
I didn't feel nothing.
Well, I mean, we couldn't have but so many drinks. The bartender apparently couldn't see us, so
yeah.
it was.
Yeah, that's
true.
Okay. Yeah, that was a rough one. I feel like we got a shot from someone though. I feel like someone around us because we helped them. We helped this. There was 2 people on the side. We helped them get drinks because I was like, hey.
Yeah.
And now they bought us some shots.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, that
was good. Yeah.
That was nice of you.
Our second shot.
In the blue sweater. It was a blue sweater.
No time for names.
No, blue sweater.
Blue sweater lady.
Blue sweater lady.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's all.
That's all. Yeah. Another one of our guests. Oh, remember that one time that we did the chicken nugget taste test?
Yeah. God, yeah. Back in the things you do before kids, first of all.
Yeah, I mean, I had mine.
You had yours.
I
things you're like, I'm gonna do this before you have a kid.
Yeah.
I was just like, all right, we're gonna find out who has the best chicken nuggets. I'm like, is it McDonald's? Is it Wendy's? Is it Burger King? I don't know why. I should have left Burger King out of the conversation.
But you know what it was? We wanted to try the Burger King nuggets because I couldn't fathom why they were just $1.99.
Yeah, that's true. And there was a lot.
It was boggling my mind. I was
like,
why are you getting 10 nuggets for $1.99?
I remember we had them. I remember we bid into them.
Then I was like, oh,
we knew.
This is why you're getting it for $1.99. The Burger King nuggets are trash. I'm sorry, Burger King. Your chicken fries are fire. You got good chicken sandwiches. You got great burgers. I'm not really a Whopper person, but the other burgers is cool. But them chicken nuggets is awful, my G. Sorry.
I used to just have weird fast food ideas. I remember, so we did that. We did the chicken nugget taste test in one day. And then we also had the Taco Bell.
Yes.
They had the little roll-up things for a while that had the different hot sauces.
Hot levels.
Yeah, and so we were like, all right, we're going to try this. Not all at one time. We're going to do one
every day. Yeah.
And we did that, and
what were we thinking? We did some weird stuff.
We were like, and then we're going to go eat dinner.
Yeah.
So, let's we're going to go home and eat dinner after this. Snack and dinner, yeah.
That was how we would get off at 85.
Yeah.
At the time.
Yeah.
I'm glad I got it at bull crap. I hate getting off at 5.
There's nothing like leaving.
That traffic, bro. Oh.
There's nothing like leaving the office before rush hour and then you get home and you're like,
thinking about the people in rush hour.
Yeah, these fools, fools.
It puts a smile on my face. It puts a smile on my face. You were saying something the other day that I thought was interesting. You're a big college basketball dude.
Yeah.
Huge college basketball dude.
Yeah.
You love Duke. No, I'm kidding. You love North Carolina and TCU. Shout out to Mike Rose, Katie Byers, staff over there. You said that college basketball was closely veering towards trying to be like that.
Yeah.
You want to expound on that, explain it to people?
Well, first of all, one of the things I've always loved about college basketball, up until the last few years, is that it was significantly different in game planning than from the NBA. The NBA has started to allow zone defense, and I don't know if it's full out or if there are just like certain things you play at this point.
It reminds me more of like a matchup.
Right. So obviously NBA you could only be man-to-man. College you could go zone, and you could kind of force teams' hand and if you couldn't necessarily match up with someone one-on-one, you had a way out of it. You could sort of game plan your way out of it. You see a lot more, even in college, you see a lot more like junk defenses from time to time. 1-3-1s, boxing ones, triangles and twos, and all this.
You're like, we can throw this at them. And you never see it in any other
exactly.
But
in college, especially because you had the extended shot clock, you saw a whole lot more intricate offenses and stuff like. I love an up-tempo offense. Growing up Carolina fan, that was what Dean Smith, Roy Williams, they were all about. Roy more than Dean, but they were both all about secondary break. Get someone up the floor and make a couple quick passes and find your man. But the thing I loved about college ball, especially with that 35 seconds, you'd have a team like Princeton, which could just pass the ball around and backdoor you to death. And I remember that they were the team that always assigned. They called it the Princeton offense, right? Yep. And it was so hard to watch. It's so hard to want to run because you got to be patient with it and all that. But it's so like it's one of those things. I think as a fan, especially like if you like up tempo, as a player, if you like to play up tempo, it's so hard to go against. I know locally here, Mills Godwin, they run it. And I know I remember talking to LC Bird's head coach after a game, and he's like, it's like pulling teeth to coach against because they're so good at it, and you're not going to out-discipline them. They're very disciplined with it.
If you're willing to just be patient and just wait for the first time to do something, it works. It worked almost every time. You just have to make the shot. That's it.
Exactly. And so that sort of thing has always been allowable. But so college basketball, they've cut down the shot clock some. And as the NBA has become more analytics driven and that people are like, you should really be taking more three-pointers than twos because a three is, obviously 3 points is more than two, but over time, it's gonna even if you're not making a high clip, over time it balances itself out. So college ball is going to that now 4 around 1 or even 5 out offense, and so there's no more. Even in pro ball, there are a couple true centers at this point, or a couple that are worth mentioning.
And most of them can't play long shots.
Exactly. And then in college, that's getting phased out too. And not only even teams that run it, Carolina again, secondary break, but Roy Williams has always had 2 post players, and it's been harder and harder for him to recruit to that, and he's retired now for stuff like this because no one wants to run that offense. No one wants to play in that because they want to go to the NBA. And if you're a big man and you're like, I'm a true 5, I played as a true 5 at Carolina. Well, NBA is like, we don't got a spot for that. Can you hit a 22-foot jumper?
Your stock takes a hit because you don't play the type of style.
And so it's not. It's becoming one and the same. It's just like like I said, the thing that I liked about the college game was you had so many different types of offenses. You could see teams dominate, whether from the three-point line, or you could see teams dominate in the paint. And I grew up loving that. I love feeding the paint, and I love seeing the big man step out from time to time. But I'm like, man, you are 6'10", 250. Get your ass in the paint and dunk the ball. I don't want to see you try and break someone down off the dribble. Like that's not. I feel like I got plenty of 6'2" guys who can do that.
Right.
But because the NBA is so specialized like that now, and more people, everyone wants to get to the next level. Everyone wants to play in the NBA.
Sure. Yeah.
Even guys who are nowhere close to ready, they want to be in the most NBA-like system immediately. Like there's no room to run anything else. So college is becoming that now. It's now 4 around 1, 5 out, and it kind of sucks because you have your allegiances. I've been a Carolina fan all my life, and I went to VCU, so I'm a VCU fan, true as well. And I'm always going to watch those teams. I'm always going to cheer for those teams. But it's definitely not the same as it was even 10 years ago. It's not the same. And they want to go to 6 fouls. I can't. It's a shorter game.
The 6
fouls. You don't need a 6 foul.
But some
defense.
That's the rules like that to annoy me because it's like, bro, just teach us how to foul.
Yeah.
That's That's what college is for.
And I
develop
hate
that skill.
I hate people like Dick Vitale who's supposed to be this.
He's gonna be a purist.
And well, no. He used to be that way, but now he's just like, oh, you got to keep the best players in the game on the floor. I'm like, you can teach him to play defense.
They've been doing that. They for years we have evidence of that happening. You just have to tell him to play better.
It's
defense.
like, and you know,
or scheme around his bad defense.
So
that's
the funny thing is, like, recently you've seen it more at like Duke. Like guys like Jabari Parker who still can't play defense, and I forget, they've had a couple of, just had a dude recently who was like their best player who cannot match up with anyone. They're like, all right, we're gonna go zone, and because they can't defend anyone, and then they randomly foul out, and they're like, oh, we gotta change the rule to keep them in the game. Like, no, they should learn how to play defense for one.
Just solid defense. I'm not asking you to be a strap up dude. I'm asking you to just keep the dude in front of you.
Learn how to move your feet
without fouling him. That's it.
I don't think, like, I don't feel like I need to be like a college level athlete for that to be an ask, right? Like, there are some things, like, I feel like as a fan, like, you should not be able to demand of a college athlete. But as just a fan of basketball, I'm like, I don't think that's a lot to learn how to play defense. You don't need to be great.
It just sounds like somebody didn't go through Shell Brockport or Perfect Years. That's all that sounds like to me.
I guess.
I remember years of that bullshit. But it helped though, bro. Like, cause I get it, and everybody loves offense. I understand it.
Yeah.
And that's the highlight. That's the ticket. You know what I'm saying? Yada yada. I understand that, bro. But like, there's others. That's what makes basketball so much.
It's
to me, the best sport. It's a two-side game.
Yeah.
There's no, oh, I'm playing offense, and then somebody subs in and plays defense. Not situational, sure.
Right, yeah.
But like, it's not like in football where it's like, oh, you play offense, you play defense. You gotta play both.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what makes the sport so much greatness. So you have to learn both sides.
When I was in college, I guess in high school and into college, you know, the team, one of the best teams in the NBA was the Pistons.
Detroit Pistons.
Yeah. And they played. I mean, they routinely won games in the low 80s.
That's what I'm saying.
Low 80s.
Teams weren't
because they
over
locked
70
them
or
up.
60
They
points.
locked everyone up, and I'm like, I miss that.
Yeah.
I miss that.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I want to see.
You'll never see a game in the 70s.
No, not again.
Right now.
No.
You just won't see it.
I'm not saying I want to see every game like that.
No.
But I want to see a team lock up and play defense like that again. But I don't.
Like there's no.
Well, you also had a bunch of dudes, and this is a whole other topic, but you didn't have a lot of guys taking days off in that lineup either.
Yeah.
Bill Wallace, Rip Hamilton,
Shout out to Ben.
Chauncey
Shout out to
Billups,
Ben, about to be a Hall of Famer, man.
Yeah, like those guys weren't taking days off.
No.
Like, nah. You know.
It's a different league, bro. That's why I don't like comparing like different eras and stuff. Like different eras,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
different
Something
eras have different rules, different sets,
Yeah,
different
definitely.
variables.
We're not getting the greatest of all time conversation.
We're not doing that. No, we're not doing that.
Michael Jordan.
We're not doing that. So you know what I'm saying? But we're just it's just different things. So like that's why I just pick, you know, in a bubble. This is how the style was,
yeah.
And now this bubble is just it's offense, bro. I get 120 points a game. Cool, everybody loves up and down. I know. Sometimes I just like people getting stops. That's just me. You know, that's just me. But you know,
or at the very least, I like seeing someone have to think how to beat the defense to get the bucket. I think that's
and really, it's none of that. It's
2 passes and a jacked up threes don't do it for me. Like with all due respect, because I love him as a player, but Damian Lillard pulling up from half court just because he's like, I'm Damian Lillard and I do that, doesn't really get me that excited. I don't know.
I like that.
It's like it's good for me. I don't know.
But see, it's not like he's doing that every play.
Yeah.
Typically, what ends up happening is he gets hot, and so I love that too. I love a good heat check. Let's just see how it goes.
See how it goes.
Oh, I like this today. So yeah, so I like that part of it. But as far as like just the 1-2 and then jack a 3, like bro, like, and I talk about this with a friend on Twitter all the time, where he talks about it a lot. Mid range is almost always open.
Yeah.
Nobody
takes it.
No.
Nobody takes it.
The only players who do it are like Devin Booker, Chris Paul, Kevin Durant, and I guess Jason Tatum's kind of getting into that now. they're shooting three, bro. But that middle's open because no one guards it.
Yeah, it's
no one guards.
And again, it's an analytical thing. So
I hate it.
Yeah, exactly.
I hate it.
When you look at the three levels of scoring, the mid range is always the lowest level, right? So people have been like, all right, let's just wipe that out altogether. And it's tough because I think back, my favorite players to watch growing up, at Carolina, I guess, Joe Forte, who was in the NBA for like a hot second only. But if you go back, and it's hard to find his college tape because he was like early 2000s, and that was like right before like you started seeing stuff pop up on YouTube. But, and before YouTube, I guess. But his mid-range game was so good, and that's what made him so dangerous. He was so good in mid-range, and then a little bit more recent after that, Rashad McCants was crazy, but that's okay. He also was so like he could hit a three, and he could drive his man to the bucket, but he could also take two steps in and knock down the mid-range. And like it's such a lost art that no one like. It's open. Yeah. People, if you start driving, they assume you're going all the way. You could literally step on the brakes, and the defender would go, I'm going to go off camera because this is exactly what the defender does.
Right.
Or I'm going to go on camera, depending.
Yeah, that's funny. It's like you're doing crab walk right now.
Exactly.
But yeah, like now long twos are annoying. Don't shoot long twos.
One step in is...
That's a bad shot.
That is actually the worst shot. That's the worst shot in basketball.
But I'm talking like foul line extended.
Foul line
elbows,
extended.
like
exactly.
That's there all the time.
Yes. You can take your dribble in. You can step on the brakes.
Right.
The defender will.
I used to live there.
Because KG did it. Right?
I just feel like that's the other thing that bugs me about people is like when people talk about their favorite players, and then like either. Especially if it's somebody who plays basketball or like loves basketball and their favorite player, but they don't play like their favorite player.
Yeah.
And that's weird to me. Like
you think you say this is my favorite player, so you probably like try and emulate their moves or whatever.
I'm not saying you like copy word for like move for move, but like you got like stuff like I practice this all the time.
Right.
It's like it's just weird. But I watch KG some mid range shots were my thing. Turnaround jumpers were my thing. You know what I'm saying? Blocking people's shots until oblivion was my thing, and it's screaming about it.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
These are things I picked up. So
I'm with you on that. Like I'm just a random pickup basketball player, but I think we've talked about this. I love pass first point guards. Like I love point guards who are creative, and which again is another thing that has gone by the wayside because everybody wants to be a scoring guard now. Everyone wants to dominate the ball and then score. But pass first point guards who are creative and kind of understand where their teammates are on the floor and can sort of make the pass before even the guy realizes that pass is going to come. And which for me, again, I always bring it back to Carolina and with Ed Cota. Oh God, look up you viewers. You're watching this on YouTube already, right? So
hopefully
don't click off of this, but like bring up another YouTube tab. Google.
Like they do with that porn tab?
I don't know anything about that. Yeah, I guess. Just put in the YouTube search bar. Put in "Requiem for a Dream" Ed Cota, and it's
you definitely said.
Oh God, it's like a 10-minute video of just Ed Cota going absolutely berserk in college, and like his fundamentally speaking, he should get the ball stolen from him all the time because he's just like this high-ass left-handed dribble, and he was never like a particularly quick guy, but his dribble is so quick. If you tried to reach for it, it's over here now. Yeah. And, or he had Vince Carter and Antoine Jameson, and that ball is up and it's going right back down really fast.
Must be nice.
What
great options.
What great options. It was so he had the year. He was a senior after they left. And so he had 1 year with Joe Forte, but he had a pretty, especially for Carolina, limited roster. Yeah. They ended up getting to the Final Four as an 8 seed, but it was crazy because a lot of people were like, all right, we're going to find out how good he really is because he doesn't have these options. He doesn't have these options, but I also had Brendan Haywood on that team, so he still had a big man to throw to.
Right.
Speaking of true fives that would never fit in today's NBA. Yeah, and it was just watching him. He had the ball on a string, and then I guess later on, from the last decade, I guess Kendall Marshall, and that's I remember watching him, and we'd go to the gym. I was like, I'm gonna try and do all. Yeah, I was trying to like just throw all the crazy passes.
They were crazy.
They were going out of bounds.
They were crazy. Yeah,
they were going out of bounds over people's heads, but he was fun to watch, man. Without a doubt.
Kendall's issue was just scoring just wasn't gonna happen.
He was kind of slow. He was kind of slow, but and he couldn't really defend because of that. But yeah, and his shot was not.
It wasn't the great.
But I feel like so.
But he's one of those dudes that's like a college legend.
But
like he was playing for a college game. You know what I'm saying?
But so I feel like in the old NBA, if you will.
Oh, he would have been fine.
He would have been
fine. Because the old NBA point guards couldn't shoot for shit.
Or they didn't necessarily have to.
Yeah, they would just
pass
the ball and
exactly.
Set the ball. Maybe get a steal or two here.
Yeah, exactly.
Should we?
We should cook.
Yeah, we should cook. So I'm gonna pause this. All right, man. People don't know we've been gone for a minute.
So much has happened.
Yeah, so much has happened and so much time. But we got the steaks here, man. They look amazing. Yeah. They look so delicious. Make sure you watch One Last Glass to see the whole cooking. We're starting your cooking show, basically. Yeah. the Bengal cooking show. Yeah. We're starting that. But the wine, we got to pair it with a wine. We have Phebus Malbec 2020 Argentina. Yeah, man. I haven't had a Malbec in a minute. It's 14% alcohol, so that's already
fantastic.
A great start.
I know that's good for you.
You know how I get down.
So like when I pick the wines here, Stik picked the food for us to eat. I picked the wines, and like I'm a big local guy. Again, I work for the Department of Agriculture, so I'm all about Virginia's finest and whatnot. So I didn't find a red that I wanted to bring, but I found a brand called Phebus, and that's an area of Hampton, so close enough. Whatever,
yeah, man, 757. I'm not mad at that at all.
Mad at it, yeah.
Not mad at that at all.
Malbec pairing with the steak.
How much you actually supposed to pour?
I
just keep pouring, bro.
I just pour, yeah. Make it your own.
Right. There we go. All right. Man. So here we are, man. I'm ready for this. Yeah. Make sure you save a piece for the thing.
Oh yeah. Gotta save something for fake.
Because if you don't,
if you don't see me again after this,
you know what happened. Exactly. All right, you ready? Ready to dive in? Let's dive in. Dive on in. Good.
I'm telling you, man, that brandy pepper for one on its own is good, but
that's good.
That butter, that compound butter, it really adds like butter on its own adds something to it. But when you add in just the herbs and the shallots and even the bourbon, man, it all just adds to another level of complexity to it.
It's always, man. You gotta ditch yourself.
It's a good way to live. It's a good way to live, man. I'm telling you.
So let's try this, man. Okay.
I like that.
It's not bad.
It's very subtle.
Not bad.
It's very subtle. It's sometimes I feel like red wines, especially when you smell it, it just kind of hits you really hard, and
so you anticipate a certain taste.
Yeah, and this, I don't know. It's very. I've always been more of again. I've never been a huge wine person, but the wines I've enjoyed have generally been whites or some like blushes.
Yep.
But this one was good.
I'm not mad at this at all. I think it goes good with the steak.
When I drink this, it reminds me of like my parents eating dinner. Like they're big red wine. Like I just imagine them like. I'd say a Friday night dinner, but they have a new tradition where they go out to eat on Friday night. So,
Okay.
but I can just imagine them sitting down and just enjoying this wine.
Shout out to mom and pop, man. How they like being grandparents?
Oh,
Yeah.
they love it. My sister had a kid, and she just turned 10, and so I think, and they love her. And they love my niece is such a fun kid, and she's so smart. But I think my parents were like happy to have like another baby around.
Baby, the baby thing's just a little bit different, bro, because like they're young and like I feel like with parents, once you get past that stage where like you don't need them anymore,
Right?
Like
Yeah.
you don't have that dependency. I feel like they have this thing where like they don't know what to do.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like now they're trying to fill their time with something else because they don't have a dependent that needs them stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I think that's cool, man. I know they'll love it. I know they would love to have as much time as possible. The best thing about being a grandparent though is that you can just give the baby that.
Oh yeah.
Like
baby starts crying, like, oh, where the
like,
parents
oh
at?
my God, yeah, get this, get them, get them.
Save this bit of steak here for
That's a
my
good
wife.
husband, man.
Yeah.
That's a good husband. You know what I did want to say and talk about? So, you were going to during my wedding, obviously. So, you're one of the dudes I look up to as far as like marriage and stuff. Because, I mean, marriage isn't really that different than being in a relationship. Not much. But there are a few nuances, obviously. And one of the biggest ones is the ring, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what's really throwing me off about having a ring, but during the pandemic. Like right now, I don't have it on. But it's not for not wanting to.
Yeah.
It's when I'm home, I feel like there's no reason for me to have it on, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, mine's sitting right there on this. You guys can't see where I'm
Right.
pointing, but I mean, mine ends up being on the sink a lot when I'm home, just because I'm in here. If I'm not cooking, I might be doing baby's bottles or washing dishes or whatever, and so it often sits right there. And it's not like, and I might go out somewhere and forget to put it on. It's not that I don't love my wife. It's you just don't always think about it.
So my thing is, I ask people like, hey, what should I do? Should I wear it all the time? Should I do that? And most people are like, hey, you don't have to wear it around the house, but if you go out, take it with you. But the thing is, because of the pandemic, I don't go out.
I know, yeah.
So in my mind, I just move without it so much that I'll get in the car, start driving, like, dang, I don't have it on it
Right,
again.
yeah.
So I be feeling like not bad, but I be feeling a certain way, like, dang, I forgot again. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's something in the back of my mind.
I know.
It's weird.
Early on in our marriage, I think it was back when I worked at the place we don't talk about.
Yeah.
I remember calling in that I was going to be late to work because I got like halfway down the road, realized I didn't have my ring on, and it was early on in the marriage when I was like, this definitely won't fly.
What's called one? When we first met, you were just getting married, right?
Oh God, make me
2012, 13?
Yeah, so I think, we moved buildings, and I got married right before we moved buildings, and then we went on our honeymoon, and I came back to a new building.
Yeah.
I remember I had to take and pack up all my stuff before I left, and then they moved back to us.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it's just, for me, it's just that I think, all right. So some days there'll be like 4 or 5 days where I just keep it on all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, keep it on. Then I'm like, it feels not constricting, but like after a while, like I just need a break.
Sure.
Breathe. And after that, I just forget about it for the next like couple weeks. I feel so bad sometimes, bro.
But you're in such a good relationship with her. It's like one of those things. Like she knows that you love her.
Right. I could have something like nuts about that, right? And that would be awful. And the marriage probably over.
I don't know what the etiquette here is. Can I just take it?
Absolutely.
Okay. I didn't know.
We encourage that here.
Okay. Yeah.
On Clueless, Vino. I'm waiting for the episode where I actually destroy the entire glass.
I'm telling you, this is good. I don't. Again, like I'm definitely more of a white wine person. So, red wine. I don't know what to expect. This is just tasty.
It's good, man. It's definitely good.
Shout out to Total Wine.
Yeah, man. Total Wine always holding it down.
Remember when you first started doing this?
When I first did the first YouTube one, yeah. We did a whole thing.
We went into Total Wine, and we got the guy who was working there to help us. We were like, yeah, man, just give us a suggestion, and then we'll play it up. So he said, okay, and we did, and we were like, hey, man, what's your Instagram handle? We want to make sure we tag you. And I forget what it was, but it was something.
I believe it's J Pizzle.
I remember he whispered it. He was like, J Pizzle.
The great thing is I still follow him. Still follow him. I believe he's in California now or something.
Is he working at Total Wine?
I don't think so.
Is he out of the industry?
I don't think so.
Oh, that's too bad.
I don't know where it is anymore. I saw him shooting hoops, so we could have done that together.
I wish I could have done that, yeah.
This was good, man. I'm not even going to pretend like it wasn't. It is destroyed.
So, I'm going to be honest. Like, I've had, and it could have been just a difference in freezer versus fresh. So, at some point last year, Tom Leonard's had a big sale on strip steak. And they had, it was for some ridiculously low price. So I remember Faye's dad went up and got himself a roll and cut them to 1 inch. And I told him I wanted 2-inch steaks. So he did. He went up and got me a roll, cut to 2-inch steaks. I forget what the deal was. I think I had lent them like some money for something at some point. So he was like, I got you. I'll pay you. And this is it. I'll pay you this way. I'm like, yeah, that's good. And so I get them, and I remember they were just tough.
Yeah.
And I was really disappointed. But they're also frozen. So I was worried that even though I believe in the process, the cooking process that I just did, but I was worried that was going to be a tough cut of meat. That was delightful.
Yeah. I'm not mad at that at all.
I like that.
I'm not mad at that. Hey, more of that. Say all types of less.
Say more and less at the same time.
Ooh, I like that. And I can't wait till our pasta dish. That's gonna be delicious.
It's coming up next.
That's gonna be delicious. I'm gonna do this weird thing right now. Probably be like, wham! And there it is. There it is, man. Probably plot by this wine. But yeah, you made shrimp fettuccine Alfredo, man. It looks amazing. Huh?
I don't know if they can see it.
Oh well. There you go.
Wonderful.
There you go. I'm gonna post a picture and stuff. They'll be alright. they don't need to be seen that. Now that I think about it. But we do also have this next wine. We're pairing it with from the Williamsburg Winery. It's called Acte 12 of 1619. What you trying to say, man? You like the year 1619? You like that?
Jamestown.
Yeah. I wonder how they built that. Anyway, it's a Chardonnay, Virginia Chardonnay, so that's cool. Aging was 7 months and 50% oak, 42% stainless steel, and 6% concrete. It's that last one that really.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if I want to taste that 6%.
You know what I'm saying? It's that last one that kind of bothers me.
Yeah. Again, big fan of in-state, local.
Yeah, man. I would love to get in touch with local wineries. Isn't that funny? Anyway, yeah. So let's go ahead and give it a try, shall we? Let's give it a try. Oh, the color's nice.
Yeah.
Look at that color, man. Wow.
That looks like that is the color of clarified butter right there. So if it's as delicious as clarified butter is,
Yeah.
we can be
Look
in
at that
good
color.
shape. Yeah, that's
that color.
smells great too.
Yeah.
It's very smooth.
Yeah.
I think I made 2 really good selections.
Wow.
See? Act 12 of 1619.
Yeah, well, I still don't like the year. But you know what? This is actually pretty good though.
How's it go with this pasta?
That's the real key. That's the real key. Right there.
Please don't judge me.
I don't think there's like a way to like classically eat this. It's good though, man.
Fresh pasta just hits different. Like, it's a different texture.
Yeah.
It's got,
You can just tell.
yeah, it's got a little bit different taste to it.
Sauce is good too though.
So yeah, this sauce. Like at one point, we were trying to do not keto, but we were just trying to do the low carb thing.
Sure.
We found a keto recipe.
Same thing with me.
Yeah, we found a keto recipe for Alfredo sauce, and it actually calls for like 6 cloves of garlic, which for the amount of sauce that it makes is insane. I did not use 6 cloves of garlic. I'd like to be able to kiss my wife later, so.
I feel like garlic is like the most overused ingredient. At this point.
It doesn't need. You don't need a lot of it to make a point.
Its flavor is strong enough with just little.
Yeah.
This is good though, man. I like this. So
I definitely gave you the better of the 2. Mine, which they'll see video of me plating mine, and I definitely I put the sauce on too hot, so I definitely scrambled it up a little bit.
you know what though? I like a little primary in my sauce sometimes. A little extra burnt, like not burnt, but like crispy.
Almost like making a baked pasta.
Yep. I don't mind that. So I started this last episode, 2 episodes ago now. So I want to try to keep it going. Let's just see if I can make this stick going forward, or as much as I can. So, what year did you graduate high school? You were going to date yourself. It's fine.
I graduated high school in 2004. I know.
But that's okay though. That's very similar to what you want. Rachel did too. Okay. So graduated high school in 2004. Means you graduated college.
2008. A little bit late, actually. I was supposed to be, I guess the spring of 2008. But I messed around a little bit. Didn't have my ducks in a row, so ended up in the winter of 2008. So I kept it within the correct calendar year, which was just nice.
As long as nobody asks you good.
Hey, why'd you graduate late? Hey, don't ask so many damn questions.
Stop asking questions. Okay, so I was going to ask you a few questions based on around those years, and you let me know your answer. So, first off, Jonathan hops in his car, 2004. What's the first song that's on his? What's playing in his CD player?
In 2004, first of all, I drove a 1995 Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra. Now you hear Cutlass, you think about these like classic Cutlasses that people drive.
Yep.
It wasn't one of those. It was like when they switched to being like a grandma car. So I just want to preface it with that, and preface it with the fact that the gear shift did not work correctly. So I drove in what said neutral.
Nice.
Also, it had a tape deck.
Okay.
So I had the tape connector thing to my CD player. Mm-hmm. And I had T.I.'s trap music album.
Nice.
I had 50 Cent's first album.
Get Rich or Die Trying.
Get Rich or Die Trying, which everyone who was pirating music bought because that album was so good. And I had Mike Jones's album.
Nice.
Mike Jones, yeah.
I remember that. God, that was a time. I was an era. Okay. Now the question is when did Purple Haze come out? And when did you get your 7 copies of Purple Haze? like the one person I know who has multiple copies.
Yeah. So
flavors.
no, so they're not on mine though. That's the problem. I think it came out right at my freshman year of college.
Yeah.
Like I think like that summer, I think it came out. And I remember I had purchased a copy, and our friend Kenny.
Yeah. Shout out to Ace Metaphor, man.
He lived next door to me second semester, and so he had a copy. But then I think he had either lost it at some point and then found it, but he had burned a copy. And somehow I ended up with both of his copies in addition to my copy. And I'm like, I don't know what to do with 3 Purple Haze CDs, but...
You just keep them.
You just keep them. Collector's editions, I guess, yeah.
That's funny. Okay, Charlie comes home from senior year, high school. He ain't got homework. What's he watching, man?
PTI, pardon the interruption.
Yeah.
It was I'll say this, it was a much better show back then. It was a much better show.
ESPN was a much better network than it was back then. Like, the personalities were better.
Yeah.
The shows were better.
Yes.
And the people actually analyzed sports instead of just doing hot takes.
The reason I wanted to work for ESPN growing up, and the reason I wanted to was Stuart Scott. And Stuart Scott at the time, you think about because he was like, booyah, and he had all these new phrases. He was the over-the-top guy at the time, but at the same time, it wasn't hot takes. He was just making it exciting while doing a good job.
Right.
And which is, not what they do now. Now they're just hot takes and saying a bunch of stuff that you're like, what are you talking about? And then we all talk about it, so
that's all it is.
They get paid.
Clickbait and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Okay. So you said you're a UNC guy.
Yep.
Since birth.
Yeah.
With the VCU.
Yeah.
If it ever comes down to UNC versus VCU.
Oh, it's VCU.
Huh?
It's VCU.
It's VCU.
It's VCU.
Okay.
I think at the end of the day, I'm a big Carolina fan, but my time and my money went to VCU.
Yeah.
so that's what it comes down to. And VCU's in the A10. VCU's the underdog.
Yeah.
And so part of me would be a little bit mad. I'm like, man, Carolina should have won this game. But part of me is like, man, good for VCU.
Yeah.
As someone who used to have season tickets and at the right time, it's been a hell of a ride from when I was in college to now.
Yeah.
And so it's always VCU. So.
Were you there for the Eric Manning Trump?
Yeah. So it was funny. I was the sports editor of the VCU newspaper at the time that Eric Maynor was making his rise.
Yeah.
So that season, they beat Duke in the NCAA tournament that year. And so that season, they started out not great, I guess. They were okay. Yeah. And then I remember, over the winter break, App State came to town and beat VCU. And everything after that was just Eric Maynor mania. He was on fire.
Yeah.
He could not be stopped. And God, it was so fun to watch. Honestly, he's another dude who his game mildly today. He probably still translates to today because he can score.
Yeah.
If he didn't get hurt, he probably would have been okay.
I think people at his position are a little bit stronger now. I think that's the only thing that probably stops him. But he had every tool. He wasn't the best shooter, but he could get to his spots.
I was about to say he's not pure shooter wise, no, but he's still dangerous from three.
Mm.
You know what's funny? He got drafted by Oklahoma City.
Yep.
And then the next year, I think, is when they took Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
And so
yes.
I think so. It was in short order.
It was very close.
It was very close together. And I just remember being Russ was wild early on. You could clearly tell the talent, but he wasn't consistent. But they were definitely Oklahoma City was definitely invested in making him their guy.
Yeah.
And I just remember being who is this bum that's starting over Eric Maynor? And then years later, I'm like, okay, yeah, I understand. I understand. I get it.
My bad, guys.
Yeah. You got me on this one. Yeah.
Well, let's stay there. So, and we won't call them the five best VCU players. We'll call them your 5 favorite VCU players.
Okay.
So, 5 favorite VCU players.
Okay. Maynard's up top.
Okay.
And I'm just saying, this is just gonna be guys that I've seen.
Right.
Yeah. There are plenty of guys, they're going back
sure.
that I never got to see that are great players. But Maynard's number 1 because he could take over a game at any time he wanted. He had that little floater.
Yeah. He was massive.
Yes. Yeah. He could get in that lane. Along the same lines, I love Melvin Johnson. He had that same floater. He had the Melvin or whatever. It was fantastic. That was always so fun to watch. Troy Daniels just being that 3-point assassin in that corner. At the same time period, Briante Weber, and we talked about defense earlier, and the fact that he's not in the league is such a crime. Like, can you imagine? I've never seen, he just epitomized that on the ball, I'm a better defender than you are an offensive player. I'm going to take it from you every single time.
He just has a knack. It was the biggest shame that he got hurt because that steel record was going down.
And the thing
going down.
The thing that kills me is that the kid from Richmond now
he's right there.
Is either right there or it's going to be his. And I'm like, man, not only did Briante not get it, a kid from University of Richmond's going to get it. I'm like, that burns me up. But then and again, same sort of time period, but Trevion Graham. And he's still doing his thing in the league, right? Like he's still.
I think he's still in the league.
Yeah, but he's a guy that he was not highly recruited out of and with the exception of Melvin. Melvin was the only one of the guys that I named just now that was highly recruited. But he was not highly recruited. He's just like this 6'4" bulldog who can get to who he should have had a lot more points than he did. He scored a lot of points in VCU. And he should have had a lot more. And he didn't get despite the fact that he was best player in the league for a while, he didn't get the calls he got. He would get to the bucket and finish through contact, and there'd be no call. I'm just like, come on, ref! Like this is like he earned every bit of that. I mean, he made it too. And just the determination level. He was a dude. His shot was B+, I'd say, but his ability to get to the rim was so good. Yeah. I mean, and like you could put the ball in his hand, and he's another guy.
Tell him go get me a bucket.
Go get me a bucket. He was going to get you a bucket. I loved it. I loved watching him.
Definitely give a shout out to my guy B. Rise.
The mayor of Richmond. I remember like he was the local kid in that signing class when he came in, and I was just like, I didn't know who he was, and I wasn't really covering the area at the time, and so I was like, okay, he's a kid from the local area. I don't really know much about him, and he didn't, it took him a little bit to get into it, but yeah, by the time he was a senior, man, he was an assassin, and he's definitely.
And he's still killing over.
Yeah.
He was.
He's definitely one of those guys. Like if he gets hot, like that's it.
Forget about it.
Yeah, that's exactly. And it doesn't matter where. And I
gotta play with him in the ABA. I did a lot of watching. But being able to see him up close, you could tell like he was different. Like he was different.
He had that. I think a big part of it is with shooters. It helps when you have a short memory, which he does, and it helps that you got a little bit of cockiness, which he definitely does. But he's kind of that second tier for me. He was a fun guy to watch. I like Troy a little bit more. I don't know why. I think Troy maybe just did it a little bit longer than he did.
Yeah, a little bit more. Yeah. But he worked hard to get to that spot too.
Yeah. I like both guys, in-state guys. I love Troy Daniels from William Fleming and Roanoke. Man, I love that. That's for a while, man. VCU would always have like these kids from in-state. And I was just like, let's do this.
Okay, Jonathan is going to a party. He's going to a party.
He's leaving at 9.
What is he drinking, man?
I'm either what sort of party?
It's a frat party.
It's a frat party.
Yeah, it's a frat party.
I'm starting out with Natty Light.
Of course, gotta have the Natty.
And then by the end of the night, I'm taking shots with no chaser because I wanted to impress people. No one was impressed by that. Try it. No, it's not impressive.
It's not impressive.
All it does is ruin your system later on. And probably ending the night, if available, with some Goldschlager.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Never purchased by me. If someone, there's always at every party someone rolls up with it, and you're like, I'm gonna find that bottle.
You know what though? Isn't that like right around the time Superbad came out? I thought Superbad came out right around.
Yes.
India.
Yes.
So
Gold Slick vodka.
Yeah. Come on, man. Yeah. You know what? I don't think I've ever had Goldschlager. Somehow I've avoided that for years.
It's not bad. I mean, it's peppermint flavored, so.
Oh, then I can do that. I
Shots,
do Ice 101 on it.
Yeah.
I used to do Ice 101 when I was in college. I did have up to Rumplemans, so I don't know if that makes it better.
Rumplemans and 99 bananas and all these
Yeah.
things that were
I
like
used to do all those things.
popular, and it was definitely right about that same time. So like, they didn't say Goldschlager, but and then the movie Beer Fest, when it came out, like probably my junior year or so, and at some point in that movie, the guy chugged some Goldschlager. So,
Yeah.
That was.
All right, final question is, if you could go back to freshman Jonathan, what are you saying to freshman Jonathan?
Probably just relax. Like I was definitely like a nervous kid, like in high school. Like I was so worried about, and I was so quiet. Like I was so worried about people not liking me, and I like just had this anxiety about people not liking me. And, like I didn't know what to do with it. And then like by the time I got to college, by the time I was at the end of college, and especially like now, like I'm married, I've got my set of friends. Yeah, I'm weird, I'm awkward. Who cares? They love me anyway. Freshman Jonathan didn't know that, right? So if I could go back and tell him, I'd be like, hey, just relax. Like people like you. Like, just chill out, just have a good time.
Here at Clueless Vino, man, we like to rate our wines and try to figure out what we like the best, man. So we'll start off with the Phebus that I can't find anywhere.
Sorry, I just. Hello. Oh. Don't look at me that way.
Faith and settle down here. The Phebus Malbec, man. What would you get that out of 5 glasses?
I really enjoyed it. I would say it was a solid 4.
Okay.
I really, again, I enjoy white wine more than red wine.
Yeah.
And especially because, white wine is generally chilled, although we didn't do that.
Right, yeah.
And I think that definitely helps it. But no, I really enjoyed it. I would give it a solid 4.
Okay. I'll give it a 3.8.
That's very specific.
I'm very, because when I looked at my list of like top 5 wines, I was like, oof, I give a lot of things the same score, so like I gotta try to differentiate it. So 3.8 is good though, because this is really good. It's probably maybe the best Malbec I've had, maybe. I would have to go back and look at the ones I've drank, but this is really good. It wasn't offensive to my taste buds.
No, not at all.
Didn't have any weird aftertaste or anything like that, so I did.
I think that's what gets me
Yeah.
most often with wine in general.
It's
White or red.
It's a weird aftertaste.
It's a weird aftertaste, yeah. Which is weird for someone who just said that they took straight shots in college. But
Hey, listen.
I grew up.
We'll start with straight shots and then pop bottles. Pour it on the bottle. I won't finish it first.
No.
Anyway, but yeah, 3.8. And then we have the Act 12 of slavery. 1619. What would you get that? The Chardonnay. What would you get that out of 5?
I'd give it a solid 3.5.
Okay.
I think I like the red just a little bit more than white in this case, which is weird for me, but
Yeah.
I definitely like them both. I think I like the red just a little bit more, so I'll go down a half step, 3.5.
Okay. I'm gonna give this a 3.85 because I like it a little bit more than the Phebus.
Oh, how about that?
I think I've had like three of these already, and I do. It was very smooth. It's interesting because this one is a lot of wines that have that single note flavor where it's like there's no peaks and valleys.
Yes, sure.
They can be weird to me, but this one it's just like this, but it's good.
Yeah.
So like there's nothing to be disappointed by or
Right.
like surprised by. So I definitely enjoyed this one. I definitely enjoyed
Something I want to point out with both these wines, anytime I shop for wine, I always try and find that what is the best flavor for your value.
Yeah.
And anytime you talk to wine people, they'll tell you you can find a $10 bottle of wine that you will absolutely love, and you will find a $40 bottle of wine that you're like, not so great.
Right. Yeah.
So both these wines are under $20.
That's not bad.
Yeah, and so I feel like, in terms you weigh that value versus how much you enjoyed the wine. I mean, that's a solid Friday night.
That's a win. That's a win
Yeah.
for sure. That's a win. But I wanna say thank you, man. I mean, I've already, you know how me and you get down. We've been kicking it for years now, almost 10 years, almost. And yeah, man, I'm glad we were able to do this.
Absolutely.
And get it done.
And the cooking adventures continue for us on Monday.
Yeah, because we're hanging out.
This is not timely because
you'll be going by. But Memorial Day, man, we're kicking it. We're having a good time. Getting the families together and some friends, and yeah, it'll be good, man. It'll be good. We've been waiting on this Cuban Day. I think it's ridiculous that people get Cuban Day. I can't get my crab fries, but that's another story for another day. But
next Memorial Day, stay tuned. Yeah.
Maybe we'll see. But tell them, this is part where I let people, get their socials or do like a closing remark if you want to do that. Just let people know, or you can plug that drink.
Oh yeah,
trying to plug.
Yeah. First of all, I want to plug something real fast. I bought these two wines. I was actually trying to work it out with my buddy Joe, who actually works for Jack's Hard Cider. Let me get all the way up here. Jack's Hard Cider. They're based out of Pennsylvania. They at one point got a cease and desist from Jack Daniels because they originally had T-shirts and marketing that said "Drink Jack," "Drink Jack's." It was too close to Jack. They didn't like that at all. But they also do. He's the head brewer, if you will, for the cider. But they also do wine. Okay. And I had texted him a couple weeks ago about trying to get some wine down here, and he was like, "Yeah, man, sounds good. Let me talk to you tomorrow about it, though," because I texted him kind of late. I said, "Yep," and I never followed up. So, Joe, I'm sorry. Jack's Hard Cider. This is sort of hard to find in the area. If you want to try it,
it looks delicious.
Hey, that's the peach variety, just for you.
Say less. Say all type of less.
If you want to try it, let me know. I'll figure it out for you.
Yeah, man. I would love to try it, Joe.
If for anyone who lives in the kind of the northwestern part of the state, like Fredericksburg and beyond, it's like I said, it's based out of Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania to that part of Virginia really is not a far travel, so it's a lot up in that area. So up into Maryland as well.
Rest on site, never concentrate. I like that.
Sir. I also want to say, so if you want to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, at @JHowardWrites, I cover basketball.
So you tell Wrights correctly.
Yeah, right.
Not R-I-G-H-T-S.
Yeah, Wrights as in all right.
R-I-T-S.
I still do some sports writing on the side. And if you're interested in cooking, man, there's never a bad time to start. There's no recipe too easy. If you want to make some food, make some food. Do not be scared of it. The kitchen is a lot like the gym sometimes. You're scared to get in, scared to start, scared to fail, whatever. Just make some mistakes. There's no such thing as mistakes. It's happy accidents. So
except for bacon. Bacon, there are happy accidents. Yeah.
You can burn bacon. But yeah, enjoy the kitchen.
Yeah, man. One more time, man, I appreciate you. But most importantly, don't forget, drink up. There's nothing in yours.